Well, hello there, Grand Lakers. This is Sam down at the Grand Lake Sports Center, and welcome to a new Rodcast. This is going to be a very special Rodcast, and I want you to meet a gentleman by the name of Chris Bassett. And at the other night, we were down at the Hoot Nanny Fireworks, and it was their 25th anniversary, and they put on a show that is just unbelievable. And they always have a band. This was the band, and this band was amazing. And I was taking my grandkids in the back to show them how they put the fireworks up and put everything together. And he looked over at me as I was walking by and goes, "You own the sports center?" And I go, "Yeah, I do." He goes, "Come here. I'm going to sing you a song." I'm going to tell you something. It really touched my heart. And we all need to think about how our grandfathers are so special and what they did for us because our parents were working so much. They didn't have time to spend a lot of time with us. When this band sang this song, it just brought back so many fond memories. So I want you to hear this song. It's very, very special. And try to think about all the things that your grandfather did for you when you were young. And I'll share a little more about my grandfather and the store in Blue Bluff when I was a kid after you hear this song.
Thanks, Sam. Um, I'll tell you a little bit about the song. The song came about in 2020 when all of us musicians were sitting around and we were wondering what we were going to do. And I thought, man, I would give anything right now to go fishing with my grandpa. And so that's a he was a big influence in my life. And I didn't know when I called you over how big an influence your grandfather was in your life, and so how it was gonna how it was gonna connect the two of us together. So all right, here we go. Fishing with Grandpa. I'll do this song for you. This is the one I wrote. I'd call and ask him if he had an extra hula popper, or maybe a jitterbug that he could spare. Fill the cooler full of sandwiches and water. Tie that flat bottom down in the pickup bed. Grab that Zebco 33 that he gave me. It's been my favorite ever since I was a kid. Go to sleep excited about tomorrow. Going fishing with my grandpa again. The way it was back then, on my way back when. Best times, the good old days. Remember when, without a second thought, I'd go back and then I'd go fishing with my grandpa again. Well, he gave me his truck the day that he quit driving. Handed me the keys and he said, "Son, we have a deal." He'd fill it up the morning we were leaving, and there would always be more than plenty left. He knew all the spots that held all the big ones. He'd been fishing in them holes for many years. But thinking about it now, well, it's got me wishing I could go fishing with my grandpa again. The way it was back then, in my way back when. Best times, the good old days. Remember when, without a second thought, I'd go back and then I'd go fishing with my grandpa again. Well, I was young and wild, he was half blind and old. But there wasn't nothing about life or fishing that he didn't know. The deal was I would drive when he wanted to go. And Sam, I'm proud to say I never once told him no. I wish my phone would ring and it'd be that old man. I'd go fishing with my grandpa again. There's no need to tell you how this story ends, but I'd go fishing with my grandpa again.
Oh, amazing.
There you
I'm
go, fishing
telling
with
you,
grandpa.
that
Thank you
song
so
just
much.
really connected with me.
It gets me sitting around all these fishing lures. It's hard to even, just like, man, my grandpa would have just appreciated all of this and, so much. And he probably hung out in here. I don't know. He's like, he
Wow.
very familiar with the area. So
81 years,
yeah.
so who knows? He might have been in here. But All I can say is that I didn't grow up here. I grew up in Colorado, but my parents would send me and my brother down here in the summers, and I was so fortunate. My grandpa built Blue Bluff Resort, and he had the sports center, and he had boats down at the resort. And to come down as a young man and be able to have a free boat for the summer, be able to walk into this store and just have anything I wanted, just walk out, and to be able to go down and fish in the docks and take the boat out and run the trot lines and all the special things that Grandpa taught me about fishing. You know, I realized he planted that seed and it grew, and I've taken it to the extreme, all the way up into Florida. But it's so special. Everybody needs to think about what their grandfather did for them. A lot of parents don't have time because they're working all the time. But if it wasn't for Grandpa, they wouldn't be able to plant that seed to experience that first time of catching a fish. It's so special. So I hope all of you think about what he just saying and how special grandfathers really are.
My grandpa, when we were all kids, there were probably like 6 or 7 cousins, and he bought an old school bus and he put bunk beds in the back of it, and he decided he was going to take us all camping at one time. And I can't imagine how overwhelming that was for an older guy. And I remember, Sam, this is no joke. I lived my whole childhood thinking you could catch a fish with a piece of potato. Um, because he ran out of bait and worms. We ran out of hooks and worms and everything else, and he ended up tying potatoes on the strings just to get us go down there and go fishing, so he could make dinner for all of us kids. And,
That's awesome.
and when I got older, I'm like realizing he was just getting us out of his hair. So I gotta tell you, I'll tell you a little story about that song that nobody knows but me, and you'll think this is funny. The reason I would call him and ask him if he had an extra hula popper would be to get his reaction, because on one of those fishing trips, he sat down on a hula popper, and I had to cut the barbs out of his hiney. And he was one of them little men that wore the polyester pants, and I remember his control. I didn't hear much. He said things like cat hair and dadgone it and and dang it and stuff, and that was as much cussing as my grandpa did. But I tell you what, he said cat hair louder than I ever heard it said as I was trying to get the barbs out of that. And so if I had called him and asked him if he had an extra hula popper, he would know that I was just poking him in the ribs about that event. And so that's the rest of the story on the song. But
That's funny you said that because my grandpa, his word was "dag nabbit," and
oh yeah, where did that?
that was like the F word in the day, man. And when he
Yeah,
said that, he was mad.
yeah, that's one.
You know,
That's one. Dagnab. I heard that one a lot. I don't have no idea where that word came from, but it must have been used quite a bit in their generation.
I guess it just anger brought that one up.
So what kind of fishing was your grandpa's favorite?
So well, you know, he loved the crappie fishing. You know, he put the first heated commercial dock on this lake, and I can remember one time he had when he built the dock, he found a theater that went out of business, and he bought all the theater seats, and he bolted all those theater seats around that dock, and it was a special deal that he had advertised, and the seats were full, and there was people standing everywhere. And I'll never forget my grandpa came down with a 5 gallon bucket full of minnows, and he poured all those minnows into that well. And I'm telling you, within about a minute, the water was flying everywhere. The crappie were busting the surface, just killing those
Wow.
minnows. I don't know if that would work today because I don't know if anybody would waste a whole 5 gallon bucket of minnows to see
That's
that. But
that's.
it was a very special sight for me.
I have really fond memories of going crappie fishing in the wintertime with my grandpa on the heated docks around here, and can't really remember which ones that we visited. I know uh, the closest one to our area was the one that they used to have down at Twin Bridges, was one, but
Yep.
we visited several of them. I've got several family members still yet today that come and just for the crappie fishing on Grand Lake, and
We
it's
were
always
we were
good.
known for crappie, that's for sure.
I remember my grandpa telling me when the dogwoods were blooming. That's about when you start getting ready and headed for the crappie.
That's it.
When the dogwoods were blooming, and that was I always look at that. We live in the woods, and so whenever them dogwood trees in our woods are all in full bloom, I'm like getting out the crappie rigs and finding my jigs. And,
Time to go. People still talk about dogwoods.
yeah,
You know, my grandfather had a bunch of floating cabins out in the water, and they were rented years in advance. And I've got pictures if anybody ever wants to come down and see. But you could go inside these floating cabins, and then you could go inside and pull the coffee table back, throw the rug back, and the floor would open up, and you could sit on the couch or the overstuffed chair and fish out of that hole inside that little house, floating house. It was quite the little deal back in the
so
day.
you wouldn't get me out of one of those
I'm
places. I'd be
telling you,
there. I'm like,
it was awesome. It was
that's where I'm
awesome.
at.
He had some really good ideas for the area.
So it's amazing to me the influence that a grandparent can have on a young man's life, and not even really know that they're changing us for the better. Just the small amounts of time that we get to, that I got to spend with my grandpa. In my mind, they're huge amounts of time, and I know now that I'm the age that I am that it's probably you're looking at a certain number of weeks or a certain number of days. It's and the rest of the time with school and the stuff that I'm going through as a kid. But those special little times of being on the lake, or being in the boat, or being on a strip pit, or being on the river, or being in a fishing hut somewhere, those those are lifetime memories that just are priceless to me. And I want, I have a deep desire. I don't know to have those kind of things and take those little nuggets of time and spend them with my own grandkids and my own son, and make sure that I pass that tradition on
Yeah,
to
it's
the
an
next
awesome
generation.
feeling.
So
I wish I'd give anything to have an hour conversation with my grandpa right now,
yeah.
just to see what he thinks about
So
what he started and where it's gone, and it'd be just unbelievable to be able to do something like that. But I'm sure he's looking down.
yeah. So do you look around the shop still and see things that were here back in your grandpa's
Oh
day?
yeah, there's I've
Yeah.
got it set up like a museum. There's a lot of things in here that he put in here, and they'll stay in here.
So I have we've got like 48 acres of farm and woods and stuff, and I'm all the time I'm running around my farm, and I'll find something and I'll know where it came from exactly. I'll know that belonged to my dad or that belonged to my grandpa. And those kind of things are, man, they're so special, those little tidbits.
Yep.
um I got another song for you that you haven't heard yet. I'd
Okay,
like to
I'm
share with
anxious
you.
to hear it.
The and it's another one where my grandpa plays a huge role in this. And this one's called The Hard Way. And it starts out in a weird place. It starts out in my sock drawer. I've never started a song in my sock drawer before, but I woke up one morning and I found a song laying in my sock drawer. And so that's where this one starts. It's like, I got his dog tags in my sock drawer. I see him every morning. I sure miss that old man and the stories he told about the days when he wore. You got him back when he was young and brave. I got him the hard way. And there's a tackle box in the corner of the shed. A fishing pole close by, like it's waiting on him to grab it and go. I'd be right by his side. All his favorite lures, I guess they're mine. I got him the hard way. He wasn't all about things, no, he never was. He lived this life, and it was all about us. That's made me the man I am today. If he didn't earn it, he didn't want it. That's a lesson that won't be forgotten. I understand now how he got that way. He got it the hard way. started looking around. There's a lot of other things in my life. There's a 12 gauge birch carved in the stock, a pocket knife with the tip broke off, rusty old pliers that'll fix anything but pain. I got them the hard way. A socket set, hard to find Allen wrenches, a Bible with a lot of highlights in it, an Arkansas stone I could use to fix that blade. I got it the hard way. It wasn't all about things, no it never was. He lived his life and it was all about us. That's made me the man I am today. If he didn't earn it, he didn't want it. That's a lesson that won't be forgotten. I understand now how he got that way. I got it the hard way. Well, this guitar says Martin on the headstock. He'd strum, I'd listen and watch. His music's with me, every song I play. I got it the hard way. Oh, I got it the hard way. I got it the hard way.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Very special.
Yeah.
Very special.
Yeah, you look around and the things that they left you are so much more than material things, you know, and the memories that they shared with us and grandparents. I just want, for my part in the Rodcast today, I want to make sure that grandpas know that that time is so valuable with your grandkids, you know. And I think we said earlier, you can't reel in a fish and hold a cell phone at the same time. And you know, it's just they're memories that they're just going to hold on to, you know. And I know I hold on to, I treasure them. I absolutely treasure those memories of my grandkid, my grandpa, and I treasure the memories of my grandson and my son right now. So
You can tell them just to go out in Mother Nature and listen.
yeah,
Listen to what? Listen.
yeah,
And it's amazing what Mother Nature can tell you. So I got Chris has got something going on this weekend that he needs to tell you about.
I will be at Patricia Island at Mulligan's this Saturday night, I believe. Yeah, it's definitely Saturday night. You can find me at C Bassett Live. Is my social media, so you can, if you're on Facebook or Instagram and those things, you'll find where I'm playing. I do play local quite often. Thursday nights, I'm in a place in Joplin called the Undercliff Restaurant. It's a patio. It's a wonderful place to come for some live music, and I play a lot of the marinas around the area and stuff like that. So we'll look forward to seeing you. I do a lot of cover stuff as well as original. I absolutely love it when people ask me for original stuff. And I think it was just one of them great coincidences that my song "Fishing with Grandpa" connected with you and your grandpa so much, and man, it made us just instant compadres. That, you know, where we had something super in common
Well,
quickly. And
I truly think that evening at the Hootenanny that God pushed us together there.
absolutely,
It was just amazing how it came together.
absolutely.
So
And then he ran us off with that big old storm because I mean
yeah,
that's.
they did. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever packed up my equipment as fast as I did there. I was like flying, man. But yeah, it was good stuff. And
Well, Grand Lakers, I hope you enjoyed this Rodcast, and we're so thankful to have this gentleman with us. And I hope you enjoy this. And if you get a chance, be sure to get out there and see him again. I'm sure he's got many special songs to listen to. And we thank you very much, and you all have a wonderful day. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Sam.
All right.